Hello everybody, I'm John Hindorf, welcoming you to springtime in Belgium and to the Michelin 24-hour series at SPA-FRANCORCHAMPS. We've had thrilling races in Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Mugello already this year. The teams and drivers now ready for the Michelin 12 Hours of Spa. It's the second race of the European Series and the fourth race of the season. A superb grid again, 41 teams, 36 cars, 10 different brands and 121 drivers from 29 nations. The European Series continues next month. We're at another exciting racetrack, the beautiful Circuit Marco Simoncelli in Misano. Then it's Circuit Paul Ricard in the south of France, and we finish off at the Circuit Barcelona-Catalunya in Spain. Any visit to the Ardennes makes the hearts of motorsport fans beat a little faster, because the star is the racetrack. The circuit of Spa-Francorchamps is a breathtaking mix of high-speed straights, technical corners, and legendary sections. Eau Rouge, Pouhon, Blanchimont. It's a true driver's circuit, rewarding bravery, precision, and racecraft. Let's hear what some of the drivers have to say.
I have been here as a child watching Formula One, and at one point you say, oh, it would be a dream come true to race here at once. Now I have the chance with Hofer Racing to do it with a GT3 car.
It's an incredible facility, nothing like it, and just blessed to be here, enjoying every minute of it.
It's the best in the world, the best I ever driven, so I love it.
We're in the heart of the Ardennes forest area of Belgium. The circuit known, of course, for its rich history, its unpredictable weather, and the thrilling layout. It's a classic track, loved by the drivers, but they still travel to Spa with admiration and awe.
At the first day you arrive here, it's also that you feel like you have a bit more respect. You always have respect for the tracks, but here in Spa it is like special. You know for sure you can be like a hero, or you can lose it all and look like a dumb beep. It's just pure fun to race here in Spa. It's really nice that Creventic is always get the challenge to bring here a race for us as team.
Ever since Spa opened in 1921, it's been a cornerstone of motorsport. Originally much longer and vying with Reims as the fastest racetrack in Europe, it's been cut down over the years, now stands at just over 7 kilometres or 4 miles. There is an altitude difference of over 100 metres, and it's a real challenge for the drivers and the suspension engineers. The circuit itself split into 3 timing zones, and we start on what is a relatively short rundown to La Source, a right-handed almost hairpin. It's actually a bit quicker than you think there, probably second or third in most of the GT cars. And then you're going quite steeply downhill across a little bridge over the river. This is Eau Rouge, and it leads uphill into a blindingly quick part of the circuit through the right-hand and left-hand kink and over the top of the brow at Radillon. Then you're onto the Kemmel Straight, which is all slightly uphill. The old circuit went straight on and down towards a very quick left-hander at Berneville. But we go right, left and right at Le Combe before plunging downhill again to what's now called Bruxelles. Now this one is a proper hairpin. You've got to tuck it right into the right-hand side and be really patient on the throttle before you open it up into No Name or Speaker's Corner, Curve Jackie X as well, it's been called more recently. And then you're coming down into one of the most intimidating parts of the circuit. The locals call it the Double Gauche or Pouhon, 2 left-hand corners that you approach at incredible speed. Get the car balanced through that, and you're still coming downhill to the Piff Path of Fagnes. Just a little chicane, can't use too much of the curb on the exit. Then coming down to the old Stavelot section, Campus, and then Stavelot coming back onto what I still want to call the old circuit, Curve Paul Frere, you'll hear that being called nowadays. And then slightly uphill again to another bit of Spa that is absolutely legendary, and that is through Blanchimont. Then down to the bus stop chicane. This has changed down through the years, all the way down through the gearbox, slowest part of the circuit, ride the curbs, right, left, right, and you're back out onto the start-finish straight. And if you can do that a few hundred times, you might be in with a shout here this weekend. So that's a quick look at the famous circuit of Spa-Francorchamps. Drivers managing to do that in around about 2 minutes 20 or under are doing a very good job indeed. Well, in the early part of the week, the weather in the Ardennes was dominated by rain as we head into our first action of the weekend, qualifying. It's blue skies, coming just in time for these sessions. 3 parts, 15 minutes each. 3 drivers per team take the challenge and set their fastest lap time. The best lap from each driver counts, and then the team with the fastest average time is on pole position. Bit more of a challenge here because tyre changes and refuelling are prohibited. All 3 sessions then have to be completed on a single set of tyres and a carefully calculated fuel load. Not a great start to qualifying for the Continental Racing by Simpson 69 Audi. Vasily Vladikin hitting the barriers hard, drivers right at Radyom. Stop the session. Unclear as to whether that car will make the start of the race, as we hear from Alistair Kesby from the team, who's with Diana Binks in the pit lane.
We need to see what needs repairing, because the priority is we need to put a safe car out tomorrow. So first of all, it's going to be a lot of work for the lads over the next few hours, see where we're at, and then we've got to make a decision on the best steps for tomorrow's race and whether we can get back out. We hope to be out, but for now it doesn't look brilliant.
Excellent work from Track Services, but it has taken a long time to repair the tyre barriers at Radyom, and that means we'll only be having 2 qualifying sessions. The third part of qualifying has been cancelled. After 2 sessions then in the TCE class, the JMEC Engineering 133 BMW is top of the pile. A strong qualifying in GTX for the 111 Racing team in the IRC GT. Rob and Chris Verhoeven doing a great job in the GT4 class. They've got pole position for their Hannover Motorsport car. Always highly competitive, the 992 class. Julian Hanse's fastest time from Q1 to 20.380 was the cornerstone for Mühlner Motorsport's pole position with the Porsche number 921. Only a wafer-thin margin though. The 909 from Red Camel was just a 1/10 of a second back. Third place, Mühlner's second Porsche, the number 918. At the very front of the field and on the top of the timing screens, the GT3 class. Always extremely competitive. In qualifying 1, Alexander Prince produced a stellar performance and put in a lap time of 2 minutes 17.767. Hard to beat, but in Q2, the competitors gave it their all. Antonio Saniero in the Aston Martin for E2P Racing set the 3rd best time with the number 90 machine. Closer to the top, Kobe de Bruyker in the Mercedes number 93 from Red Ant Racing. His reward, P2 on the grid. But on average, the fastest time is still with the number 11 Hoffa Racing AMG, thanks to Thorsten Kratz, who has a great lap in Q2. The gap just 0.6 of a second. It's the first ever pole position for the Swiss team at the Michelin 24H Series.
The team did a great job to position me and the car into the right place, so it was a little bit traffic, but it was not disturbing too much. And Alex did a great job in the first qualifying, so we just have to maintain this. And I was happy that to get this. I think there were 2 fast laps, and it was enough. I thought on my dash that it should be enough to keep the lead. So the team did a great job. So we had so bad weather on Wednesday on the test day, and also this morning. So you have not really too much time to set up the car in the dry conditions, and the car was fantastic. So it was really easy to drive and a lot of fun.
Welcome to Saturday, the first of 2 race days, and the sun is shining here at Spa. Down through the years, it hasn't always been like this, but spring seems to have been kind so far to the drivers and teams of the Michelin 24H Series. 12 Celsius and great conditions for the race. A packed grid, everyone enjoying the pre-race atmosphere, including Shami Kalra, founder of Omologato, the new official timing partner of the 24H Series. Shami has brought with him a whole batch of special edition Omologato watches, one for each of the class winners tomorrow.
The atmosphere is amazing. Our partnership is multi-year, full of passion. I don't even know what the contract says, but I love it. I don't really care. It's all about being here, and it's all about being involved and being involved with racing. So it's a massive pleasure.
Tension on the grid is rising. Everyone's getting ready, and at Hofer Racing, their first ever pole position is causing a little bit of excitement.
Alex is doing the start. I will go in second, and I will see where I will stand then. But Alex will, I'm pretty sure he's a little bit nervous, but also very excited, and he will do a great job.
Sharing the front row with Hofer Racing, Red Ant Racing, who stepped up from 992 to GT3 this year.
Yeah, of course, it's a big difference against the Cup car. But yeah, it's GT3, it's all harder and all faster, but it's quite okay, the progression.
A post-qualifying technical issue has meant a 2-place grid penalty for what was the pole sitting 918 in the 992 class. Milner Motorsport then have given up the pole to the 909 of Red Camel Jordan. Are the team interested in the overall victory?
No, to be honest, I'm just focused on the class win. I mean, GT3s is just a whole another class, and our focus is mainly with our own class.
2 days, 2 different parts of racing, which means strategy will play a special role.
I think today is more about, getting in the groove, making sure we get everything, lined up for tomorrow. And, you get a break in between, and you get a chance to kind of go in and maybe have a little bit of strategy tomorrow, depending on how things goes today. So, yeah, it was a great format. And I think the whole race series here, Creventic, the 24-hour series, have done a phenomenal job to create this platform for, people that can come and race in all sorts of different, race cars, and very competitively. So it's a wonderful platform they created here.
The Cupra safety car leads the field away for their formation lap this Saturday. On the first row, 2 Mercedes AMG GT3s. Hofer Racing on pole position, Red Ant Racing alongside them. Behind them, Aston Martin, the Spanish squad, E2P Racing, and with them is the brand new Porsche Evolution of the 992 GT3. Herbeth Motorsport, they're in the SP4 class. World debut for that car. 5th and 6th on the third row, Zigo Sport Tempesta, Scuderia Praha, and the 4th row, Kessel Racing and Proton Huber competition. This is great to see all the way down at the end of the pit lane, which is right at the bottom of Eau Rouge, at the end of the endurance pits. It's the Continental Racing by Simpson Motorsport Audi number 69. Vasily Vladikin getting ready to start from the pit lane. The lights are out and we are racing on Saturday. Alexander Prince leading the way from his very first ever pole position. Turns into the right-hander at La Source, just pausing for a minute to see if everybody's got through. Yes, they have. And the first 2 cars are streaming down. There's already a 10-12 car gap back to 3rd position. Through Radion for the first time. Hofer, Red Ant, E2P, Huber and Herbeth run on to the Kemmel Straight as the top running cars. Easy pick out that Herbeth car in 5th position with the camouflage, brand new, first time anybody's ever seen it, running in SP4. Some detailed aerodynamic changes to the outside and underneath that car. That is the new generation of Porsche 992 GT3R. What an honour it is to have that car make its competition debut here in the Michelin 24H Series. Now, there's a bit of a gap in the traffic there. Something's gone on in the middle of the pack. It hasn't troubled our pole sitter. Alexander Prince is leading through Pouon, maybe with an increased gap, actually back to 2nd. So where is the issue? It's at Le Combe. Red Camel Racing, Rick Breukers is in there. One of the Müllner cars as well. That'll be the 918, Nick Selowski. And that's the Audi of Jutta Racing as well. This will bring out a code 60, I'm fairly certain. Looks like the Red Camel car has still got fire, and Rick Breukers does indeed get it turned around and facing the right direction, rejoins, but he's dead last on the whole field. So let's explain code 60. It's a full course caution. All the cars slow down to 60 kilometers an hour and stay in their positions, no overtaking. Think of it as a virtual safety car, and it allows the marshals to get out to the incidents. Thank you very much to our hard-working marshals. They have a lot to do here at Spa with this incident. I think Jutta will need some assistance. It's already Audi going on to the flatbed. Main victim of this early incident, Müllner Motorsport, the Belgian team, which is very local to the track, very unlucky indeed. Hearing from the pit lane that both of the Müllner cars have been involved in that early incident. Diana is down with the team owner.
So, yeah, there was an accident where both of our cars were involved. The car number 918 is completely out of the race, and the 921 the boys were able to repair. First it seems like it was just a little impact, but then we saw that we lose water, so we had to get the car in to change the front left radiator. And on the Cup car, this is a lot of screws we had to do. So the boys did a really great job, and we hope that we now can continue and finish the race.
Müllner's fortunes have had more ups and downs than the circuit here at Spa. Remember, pole position and third place on the grid in the 992 class. Then they got the penalty for the pole sitting number 921. They've had the accident and retirement of the number 918. But the mechanics have done a great job. And the number 921, well, they're back on the upstroke again. It's back on track. The other front-running 992 class car involved, the Red Camel 909. Bit of a dent in the back and a black eye at the front, but it's still running. So much drama here in the early stages. And once again, it's Radion that's claimed another victim. The 44 ARC Bratislava Lamborghini Andrei Lewandowski has lost it at the top of the hill, and the back end of the car making contact with the tyre barrier in the exit of the pit lane. The car is drivable. That's a brand new car. That was only its 4th ever race lap. And the marshals are back on site at Radion. Great work as we go back to green flag. 10 laps completed now. Alex Prince, 8.1 seconds up. And this has been a tremendous start to the race for Hofer Racing and for Alex. A tight battle pack behind him. Ayton Radon in the Mercedes, Chris Froggatt in the yellow and orange Porsche, and Antonio Saniero in the Aston Martin. Oh, and Kyle Marcelli's there in the Ferrari as well. So that's a 4-car battle pack, second down to 5th. Looking more like a sprint race than an endurance at the moment, and that's what we all love about the Michelin 24-hour series. Kyle Marcelli in the sky blue and Etruscan orange Ferrari, looking the man most likely to improve at the moment. He's got Saniero in the E2P Aston right ahead of him. Just outside the top dozen, which are all GT3 cars. It's the head of the 992 class field. The light green Porsche is Nicholas Jonsson. Tim Scherboth in the dark green Porsche with the red stripes in second. And that's Bart van Helden in the white and purple Porsche. A couple of cars further back, he's getting overtaken by one of the Audis coming through the field. And oh my goodness, the Haas car has hit the Continental Audi, which remember started all the way at the back of the field. That had been a good drive up there, but that has spoiled both of their races and left some debris on the exit of La Source. I think both of the cars have managed to get going. Let's see if we can work out what happened at La Source. The Porsche's not involved, pulls out of the way. Then the two Audis coming through. Haas RT on the inside, the lighter blue car. And Amir Naran is just too late on the brakes. and picks up the back corner of the Simpson machine, which dives into the pit lane. David Bogosian, absolutely no blame attached to him at all there. I think this time, though, it's just a puncture. So whilst all that was going on, Ayrton Radont had lost his place at the front of the field. So now he's trying to catch up with that light blue Ferrari. In between them, he's got one of the 992 class Porsches. That's Pablo Brasilvero in the 949. He's got to keep an eye on his mirror as well, because there's an Aston Martin gaining on him. Down the Kemmel Straight, awful lot of debris about there. And Redont's onto the grass, he's got a puncture left front. Oh, I wonder if that was from the shards earlier on at that crash at La Source. There was carbon fibre from the two Audis all over the place at the first corner.
In all my 15 years, I've never had a puncture like that, so destroyed car afterwards. But it is like it is. We take it, and yeah, it's endurance racing. So for sure we are far off, but we bring it to the end. Yeah, the young guys still have to get mileage in the car. So for us, it's more or less training now, but on a high level. So we are comparing and doing our best.
So the Pelin Racing Ferrari is in the pit lane for its first scheduled stop. That'll cost them about 3 laps here, because it's a very, very long pit lane. The F1 pit lane and the endurance pit lane, plus the time for refilling of fuel as well, of course. So that means there's a nice little battle with Antonio Saniero being chased again. It's Gregory Servet in the Haas RT number 21 Audi behind him. Servet's close right up to the back of the E2P Aston. But as they come to the pit stop, the Aston's into the pit lane, so we lose the excitement of that battle for a moment. In the 992 class, the Mühlner Porsche 921 is fighting its way forwards after those first lap repairs. Martin Rump's mission now is just to make up as many places as possible. It's Tim Shearbuth, by the way, that's leading in the 992 category. The 911 Racing green machine is ahead of Marlon Menden from Seb Lejeune Racing. Great battle going on between those two leaders. Place on the class podium at stake here on the start-finish straight. Fabien Dufour in the GT silver car looks left and looks to overtake. Jonas Holmgaard tries to defend on the inside in the 902 Sonax car. Third place in the 992, going then to Dufour. Also competing in the 992 category, a little bit further back than what we're watching at the moment, the number 901 with Ajit Kumar as part of the driving talent. Now, he's a legend of the Tamil film industry, star of more than 60 films, founded his team in 2024 and made his debut in the 24H series at Dubai. But the team almost didn't make it to the race here after a problem in practice. Here's Diana.
We've been practicing in the wet ever since we came, from day one. And I lost it at Blue Rouge, wrecked the car. And we were lucky that Red Ant managed to find us another car. Been an exciting weekend, and everybody knows Spa is not an easy circuit to get used to.
Well, as I think everyone knows, Spa is not an easy circuit, known for capricious weather. And the fact that this weekend has played an important part in Ajit's preparation.
It's kind of funny because when we get to a circuit, the weather is normally good. You're on slick tires, and then when the weather changes, then we panic to go out on the wet. Here, just the opposite. We were practicing on the wets, getting our wet lines, on wet tires. But yeah, I found my way, and I know I can be at least a couple of seconds quicker. But after the shunt, I think it was sensible to just bring the car back safe and hand it over to Mathieu and Fabien.
Ajit there talking about his two Belgian teammates, Mathieu Detrey and Fabien Dufour.
The most important thing, I think the team, they seem to be very pleased with the session, so I'm happy. I'm really happy that things are going well for us.
Well, maybe we'll just have to see what the script writers have in store for Ajit Kumar's team. Spa podium finish, maybe? Could be on the cards. Right, let's get back to what's going on at the sharp end of the field. First pit stops have shaken up the timing and scoring. There's a Porsche duel at the front with the number 193, Jonathan Hui, under pressure at the moment. Lauren Heinrich at the wheel of the non-homologated, the brand new Herbeth Motorsport, the 992 Evo. Heinrich is a works driver, very quick, and he takes the lead at Blanchimont. So Lauren Heinrich, after 2 hours, leads for Herbeth Motorsport with that SP4 version of the Porsche. Zigo in second, Haas RT in third, Scuderia Praha with the Ferrari in fourth, heading a trio of Ferraris, Era and Kessel in fifth and sixth. Then Chantal Prince for Hoffa Racing, the pole-sitting car, in seventh, E2P and the Aston in eighth, Proton Huber competition for Porsche in ninth, and the best of the 992s in 10th. That's Seb Lejoux Racing. The pole-sitting Hoffa Motorsport AMG now in seventh with Chantal Prince behind the wheel. Let's catch up with Alexander Prince, who started the race and was a little nervous at the start, but used the code 60 just to chill out a bit.
For sure, you get a little bit like stress out of yourself, because then you can just think about the whole situation. But then you think directly again, okay, the tire temperature. So how can I handle it when it's going back to green? And my strategy was just, okay, I push like hell. Hopefully the guys behind maybe have a little bit trouble with all these guys, that I can build up a little gap. So it worked quite well, so I was happy, and then I just could concentrate myself to push like fast laps in.
Michael Kroll now at the wheel of the Hoffa Mercedes, as he is battling for fourth place in GT3, heading towards Blanchimont. Dustin Blattner in the Kessel Ferrari is chasing him down. Perhaps an opportunity to make the pass into the bus stop chicane. Hasn't been able to do it there. They come through. Oh, no, mate, he's gone down the inside. That was a very late manoeuvre, but the Ferrari's gone through into third spot. The Swiss racing team then doing very nicely. They started from P8, now third. The flags have come out. Oh, and that's for Jörg Dreisau in the number 73 Porsche. The Huber competition car's lost its front end. For those of you with a long memory, there was a Lavaggi that did exactly that, the little prototype, at exactly this point of the Spa circuit a few years ago. Well, the Ferrari that just went into third place with Dustin Blattner making the overtake is now in the pit lane. That is not a standard stop, and there's work here for the Kessel mechanics. Let's hope they can get this back running in fewer than 10 parsecs. Matt Bell is standing there. Let's have a chat with him with Diana.
Well, yes, I'm here in a sunny Spa, and it was going rather well. We were, I think we'd just taken P2 in Pro-Am, and after the sort of fracas on the first lap, which put us to the back of the field, we're working our way back through. Cars had great pace, but yeah, it seems like we've got some sort of power steering related issue that's put a bit of a temporary hold on things, so that's obviously going to drop us back a little bit. Just nose is going back on here, which looks good, so...
We're nearly 4 hours into the race. Let's have a look at GT4. Been a bit of drama for the pole-sitting Hannover Motorsport BMW 419. That'll be a code 60 and more work for the marshals. More work for mechanics as well. In the pit lane for Hannover Motorsport, Rob Verhoeven with Diana.
I think he had a slip in the Blanchimont in the back. He hit the brakes, of course, and I think the tire was broken there, and he drove through, and then the tire exploded in front of the hairpin. Unfortunately, a lot of damage, so yeah, we will see if we can fix it for tomorrow.
Well, hopefully that was the last code 60 for today, Saturday's part of the race. Last hour of the day. So plenty of movement, plenty of charging. Want to try and get back onto the lead lap if you can, because of course tomorrow we'll start with the gaps between any cars on the same lap will be eliminated. For anyone such as Ralph Bourne in the Herbeth Porsche, he's pushing very hard indeed, but he's got to be careful as he laps cars from the other classes. Going past the Asbest Racing TCE Cupra there. Oh, that was a bit tighter than it needed to be. This is multi-class racing at its best. Torsten Kratz in the Hofer Mercedes, going past the GTX leader, Daniel Studdert, in the 111. Ooh, that was a bit hip and shoulder on the Aussie car.
The traffic is quite difficult because not only you've got slower cars in front, but you've got the faster cars behind, so you're trying to look out the front and rear at the same time. It is difficult, but manageable.
3 classes all looking for the same piece of circuit. The orange and white is Luke Hartog trying to get past Jörg Dreisau. Benito Tagel in the green and white Porsche Cayman. Not really his fault. Just got eased into the gravel. The Mexican driver for SRS Zog Motorsport, though, has got it pointing in the right direction. Hartog, fastest lap of the day, 2:17.247. It's really starting to speed up now. And in fact, Klaus Bachler is now running on a 2:17.031. New fastest lap in that black car. Let's have a quick look at the leaders in the various classes as we come to the end of the first day of racing. Zigo Sport Tempesta Racing leading the race overall by about half a minute ahead of Herbeth. Herbeth, of course, in its own SP4 class. First and second for Porsche, 2 class leaders there. 3 laps ahead of the rest of the team, but both of those cars, of course, on the lead lap. So they'll start side by side on Sunday morning tomorrow. 3 laps down, P2 in GT3, Hofer Racing. They've pitted 10 minutes before the end tonight, so that's new tyres and a refuel. Meantime, the Ferrari of Scuderia Praha, number 56, is in 3rd position. They stopped just a little bit before Hofer Racing. 992, always exciting. All cars within a lap after almost 5 hours of racing. The 925 Van Berlo of Motorsport by Bas Kouten Racing ahead of the 902 Holmgaard Motorsport and the 909 from Red Camel. Red Camel, remember, dead last at the end of the first lap. It's going to be an interesting battle for the podium for the 992 class on Sunday. In GT4, the Venture number 421 is driving away at the head of the field. In GTX, the Vortex, number 701, the orange and black Vortex, that's Philippe Bonnell behind the wheel doing the last stint of the day. JMEC Engineering in TCE, 75 laps completed, but the BMW is leading. So the overall standings at the end of the first day of racing. 2 Porsche teams, Zigo Sport Tempesta Racing and Herbeth Motorsport on the lead lap. Solid performance from Hofer Racing in 3rd and Scuderia Praha in 4th. Then 4 992 class cars, Van Berlo Motorsport by Bas Kouten Racing, and then behind them in 6th Holmgaard Motorsport. Red Camel Jordan in 7th, and the Seblejoux Racing car, the French team, in 8th. And Viper Nisa Racing in 9th, Continental Racing by Simpson. They've had their problems, but they're still in 10th at the end of Saturday. So that's it for Super Saturday. Great day of racing here at Spa, packed full of racing action, spins, collisions, Code 60. Fantastic battle for position and some good pit stops as well. We've had a bit of damage and failures, some masterful repairs from the pit lane teams. 5 hours done, 7 hours more to come tomorrow. Now, regulations say you can't work on the cars overnight, refueling not permitted either. If a team breaks those rules without asking for special permission, it's a 10-lap penalty. Make sure you join us tomorrow for more racing action here at Spa. Race day 2, welcome to Sunday at Spa. Great weather again, but there are 1 or 2 rain clouds on the radar. Who knows what the next 7 hours will bring. No final positions decided yet, of course. Still so much racing to do. Yesterday's pole sitter Hofer Racing going to start from the 2nd row with pretty much a full tank of fuel and fresh Michelin tyres. The leaders from Zigo Sport Tempesta Racing have a different tactic.
For us as well, with these GT3 cars, we're usually used to hot warm tires. Now they're cold from yesterday, so that's going to be probably the most interesting thing, especially since also we and also other cars need to fuel safe. We have really cool tires to start the race, and probably will box very soon.
Right, how soon? They don't have a lot of fuel. What, five laps, 10 laps, less?
Even less. So for us, a code 60 was what we betted on. So hopefully it happens in the first couple of laps. More, of course, opportunity for that in a race restart rather than at the end of the race yesterday. So therefore we gambled on that.
It's the formation lap. Start of the second part of the race is imminent. Or perhaps not. That is the number 93 Red Ant Racing, Yannick Redont, the AMG in the gravel trap. Now, will we go code 60 here? He's going to need a tow out of there. I don't think he's coming out on his own. Down towards the start line. The red lights stay on. No, they go out. So we are racing. So the two Porsches from Zigo Sport Tempesta Racing and Herbert Motorsport are at it again down towards the first corner. Alexander Prince in third position, looking at the back of those two Porsches. Down towards Eau Rouge, the field streaming through. Cars bottoming out over the little bridge and then climbing through that tricky right-hander. Don't touch the curb on the right-hand side, over the top at Radillon. Great battling further down the field. Some track limits being explored there in the scramble to make up positions. Down towards the end of the Kemmel Straight. The lead cars have gone through. Still a little bit of dampness. There was a bit of early rain here at Spa. Now, what about the Redont Mercedes in the gravel? Has that been moved? No, it hasn't. I can see purple flags coming out. So we've had only half a lap of racing. And a very early code 6 will set the marshals back into action, just as we saw yesterday, actually. Now, that is going to benefit anyone who didn't take a late pit stop yesterday, including the leading pair of Porsches. Now, they can only take 25% of their fueling, and the fueling is all the way down at the end of the endurance pit. So that means that they will get a little bit longer run. It's not quite the same for any of the AM cars, but I'm thinking they'll stay out. Good news for Redont, they've made it back to the pit lane. And that number 93 car getting some remedial attention after the gravelly moment. Now waiting for the green flags to come out, which can happen at any time. There they are. And it is Alexander Prince leading again. Well, he's got some practice of that because he did that for the first time yesterday. And the GT3 class then streaming through. Oh my goodness, there's another incident. That's Chris Jones, the GT4 class leader in the number 421. That's at the top of Radillon again. He's gone in driver's left there. Here's Andrew Williamson from the Venture team.
Driver's out of the car, he's fine. Obviously, really tricky getting back going again after code 60 like that. Still a bit of damp on the track, cold tyres, so yeah, it's a difficult situation for him and a real shame. He was running really well all day yesterday, so disappointing, but these things happen, I suppose, in motorsport.
I have a sense of deja vu here. Both of the race starts Saturday and Sunday, two code 60s, very quickly indeed. Back to green flag racing in the 992 class. Rick Breukers in the number 909. I suppose you'd say he was the star driver for Team Red Camel, Jordan.nl. Here's how Rick took the lead down at Brussels, goes wide and then cuts on the inside of the Fonberlo racing car and takes the lead. Behind the leaders of the 992 class, the purple Porsche, Marlon Menden at the wheel, putting some pressure on Magnus Holmgaard in the red and white Sonax 902 car. Third place in the Porsche 992 clash at stake. And they're only about 10 seconds behind Philip Hamprecht in second. Now down to Eau Rouge, through the compression and climbing up again. Oh, and he's hit the curb. You don't hit the curb on that right-hand side. Oh my goodness me, that could have even been worse. A full sideways impact there. Menden, Marlon Menden. Now, oh, he's done more damage than I thought. That could have been so much bigger. The front of the car off the ground. Down into the compression. He's pushing hard, trying to catch that red and white car. But look, he catches the curb there, and it just unsettles the car. And then he's over the sleeping policeman, which is actually off the track. And at that point, Marlon Menden is a passenger. Now, the good news is the driver is okay, and the car, although damaged, is stood up well to that impact. So let's take a look at what's happening in the overall as we have restarted. It's Luke Hartog in the orange and white Porsche. It's the Zygo Tempesta car leading. Herbeth Motorsport has Ralph Bourne behind in second place. Second in the GT class, because that Porsche, of course, is an SP4. Matthias Wieboch in the Scuderia Praha Ferrari. Chantal Prince in the Hoffa Racing AMG is fourth. Now, this is the race leader in the penalty box. They have been punished for something that's gone wrong in the fueling area. I'm reading from the screen here. It says, penalty for more than once refueling during code 60. Now, the thing here is, they're going to have to stand there for 115 seconds. That means Herbeth are right back in this, and the gap between them and Zygo Sport has come down. Well, let's have a look at this project from Herbeth and from Porsche Motorsport. Their 911 GT3R is an Evolution version. It's not been homologated, so it hasn't been approved for competition yet, and this is part of its development process. Spa is effectively a proving ground for this car.
Yeah, we treat it as a race. Obviously, we're not here for the ultimate result, but we treat it as a race. We do our pit stops, we do our stints.
Lauren Heinrich, the Porsche Works driver, is effectively the consistent aspect here. He is the development driver, and of course he's the main driver here at Spa.
Spa is such a legendary track, and to drive here with a GT3 car, you don't get this opportunity very easily and very often. So doing these long stints here helps us to understand it better, how it evolves. Being here, testing the car, the upgrades in full race conditions is the perfect situation for us. It's super crucial for us to take this opportunity, and also thank you to Creventic for letting us race here.
There's been a development in GTX. The 701 Vortex, the orange car, has just retaken the lead from the IRC number 111. The red Vortex is the third car in that class. 702 lineup, Julien Boyot, Alexandre de Bernardinis and Lionel Amorush. Now, if you remember in yesterday's race, the Haas Audi turned around another car. Well, today it is the number 2 with Tom Jackson who is the victim, Tracy Cron, providing the spin for him in his green Porsche. Now, in fairness, Tracy is a very experienced driver, but even experienced drivers make mistakes. Here he is on the Tegel, the Benito Tegel car, the leader in GT4. Fortunately, SRS Zorg Rennsport has another iron in the fire in the fight for class victory, that being the number 427 Cayman. In GT3, the battle for the class podium heats up again. Hoffa Racing, Scuderia Praha, Thorsten Kratz looking at the back of the Ferrari, sweeping on the inside as they head towards Blanchimont. That is very nip and tuck, but gets it done. 3 hours to go. Zygo Sport Tempesta Racing heading the pack. Herbeth in second in the development car, running in SP4. Red Camel Jordan.nl in third is the best of the 992s. Hoffa Racing in fourth in their AMG. Scuderia Praha and Continental in fifth and sixth. Van Berlo Motorsport by Baz Kooten in seventh. Viper Nisa in eighth. And 2 992 cars round up the top 10. Well, it's been a fairly static last hour as we now head into the final 120 minutes of the race, still the two Porsches dominating. Herbert Motorsport and Ziegler have been alternating the lead depending on the pit stops. Luke Hartog seems to have been spurred on by that time penalty earlier, and he's picked up pace. The Dutchman setting a new lap record, 2:16.808 in 992 RPM Racing, up to second in its class. Behind it, the Aston Martin is under a little pressure from one of the AMGs there. Now that started P3, just been into the pits, coming through towards Blanchimont now. Oh, and there's some fluid coming out of the back right-hand side. I'm guessing that that has got a fuel cap issue and will have to come immediately into the pit lane.
Because problems with fuel, you know, are very dangerous. So I was a little bit scared because a lot of smell was coming in, a very hard, very heavy smell of fuel, and it was a little bit scary. But I'm safe, and the car is safe. That is also important. So yeah, I think it's retired. Yeah.
Time for a very special ceremony in the pit lane. The Spirit of the Race Award. Our deserving recipient is Gary Willems, Creventic's outgoing technical coordinator. He's honoured in recognition of his important role within the company since its inception 20 years ago.
They're keeping me surprising the whole weekend already, so I'm a little bit flabbergasted, but I really, really appreciate that. And I never thought about this award, but why not? I take it with pleasure.
There's dust in the air at the final chicane at the bus stop, and the GTX leader's off. Cyril Calmon has opened the door in the vortex. Now we're hearing there was contact. Yes, there's another car there. It's the Porsche 901, the Ajit Kumar racing machine, and that will bring out a code 60. Well, what a shame. There's been a long, clean run to this point. Excitement and disappointment for Ajit Kumar's team. I don't think there is going to be time to go back to green flag. So everyone will follow around at 60 kilometers an hour. The 701, I think, has done enough. Yes, it has. It will still claim victory in GTX despite the accident. TCE, JMEC Engineering, the number 133 BMW. GT4, will be the number 427 SRS Zorg Rennsport. And 992. For the last 5 hours of racing, it's been the red camel, Jordan NL, the 909, who has dominated the class, was even in third position at one point. 4 laps, the margin of victory. Back to RPM Racing in second, ahead of Holmgaard Motorsport from Norway in third. Well, it's all smiles on the pit wall. Ziegler Sport, Tempesta Racing, Chris Froggatt, Jonathan Hui and Luke Hartog. 269 laps completed. Down on the pit wall with the team, waiting for the car to cross the line. Here's Diana Binks.
So many attempts to conquer this place, and finally we've done it. And I couldn't be more proud of the effort of everybody. With Luke and Chris, I'm over the moon.
The race was challenging. I mean, we kept ourselves out of a mess. We had a little bit of a tricky start to the beginning of today, but in the end, everyone did a really good job to recover. The team executed the race perfectly, and all in all, a great weekend.
The Development 992 Evo, run by Herbert Motorsport, with a faultless run to second overall in its competition debut. Ralph Bourne, Alfred Renard and Lauren Heinrich.
We brought home a second place, which is, I think, a great result. The first podium of, let's say, the Evo car. So, yeah, I think it can continue like this.
An excellent third place overall. Hoffer Racing with Alexander and Chantel Prince, Michael Kroll and Torsten Krantz. A very emotional podium finish.
It was an unbelievable weekend. More we could wish for. It's unbelievable. It was so much fun with all the guys. The weather was finally amazing. The car was just great. It was so much fun. We could push like hell. We were able to fight with the top guys. It is just overwhelming.
Here are the unofficial results of the Michelin 12 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps. Our winners: Zigo Sport Tempesta Racing, Herbert Motorsport in second, Hoffa Racing in third, fourth to Scuderia Praha, Red Camel Jordan top the 992 class in fifth, Viper Nisa Racing in sixth, RPM seventh, Holmgard Motorsport in eighth, ninth for Mulner, and Jutta Racing in 10th. Another spectacular Michelin 24H series organised by the Dutch promoter Creventic is now in the history books. Fabulous endurance racing, incredible performances from the mechanics, the drivers and all who took part. The dry weather, mostly dry weather on the weekend, was a surprise positively for pretty much everybody, but even without rain, Spa-Francorchamps once again was the star of the show and one of the most challenging courses anywhere in the world. An incredible stop in the International Endurance Series in Belgium. Next up, we head to Italy, close to the Adriatic coast at the Circuit Marco Simoncelli in Misano. I'm John Hindhaugh. See you at the track.